Hello everybody, Image here, and if you saw the end of my last video, you will know that the next game that I said I was going to commentate on was Bisu vs. Hwasun from STX vs. SKT. Well, I lied. I was planning to do that, but then I found this game that I decided to commentate first. I don't know if you noticed the faces on the screen, but it's more of a half-truth than a lie, because that's Bisu on the left, the Protoss player representing SKT1, but on the right is not Hwasun, representing STX, but that is NC YellOw representing Air Force Ace, a legend representing a team filled with legends, playing off against Bisu, the current hot hand, top Protoss player around right now, and arguably the top player in the world. So this should be a really exciting match as the veteran legend takes on the current hotshot. But aside from that, there are a number of other factors that I think are going to make this match pretty interesting. The biggest two are basically momentum. Well, it's actually just momentum, but for both players. Bisu is a Zerg killer. It's his best matchup with about a 65% win percentage for him, and he's won his last 7 Protoss versus Zerg games. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And YellOw is a player with his best matchup is against Protoss, and he has about a 60% win rate there. His momentum, however, is completely different, and I'll get to that. But first, let's just get the map. Okay, we're on Heartbreak Ridge. That's Bisu in blue. He's Protoss at the 9 o'clock position, and in white, the Zerg at the 3 is NC YellOw. Alright, another thing to note is that Heartbreak Ridge is a Protoss favoring map. Of the 14 PVZs played on here, 9 have gone to the Protoss and 5 to the Zerg, so YellOw has got an uphill battle. And I was going to mention YellOw's momentum, momentum is maybe not the best word. Inertia might be a little bit more appropriate. YellOw hasn't won a Proleague game in over 2 years. His last win was June 17th, 07 against a then much more newly Lita. His last win in general was about 16 months ago in Season 1 of the Avertech Intel Classic against Free. So YellOw has not really done much since, but if he takes this game, that would be quite the way to make an "I'm back" statement. That's not going to be very easy for him to do, but he does have a fighting chance. And let's see how this unfolds. Got an overpool gas build for YellOw, so it looks like he's going to want to put some early pressure on while still maintaining enough economy to expand if he wants. It's a very flexible build. It's pretty good versus Protoss. I like it personally, and it should come as no surprise to anyone that Bisu is Forge Fast expanding. It may lead into the so-called Bisu build. It may not, but it's really very common to see the Forge Fast Expand build, unless there's some feature about the map that necessitates or makes it more advantageous to do otherwise. That Forge Fast Expand is something that's really helped to contribute to the era of Protoss dominance that we saw a few months ago. There's Bisu's scouting probe getting in an eyeful. It's been there for a while now. It'll probably stay alive for a good long time too, though the first Zerglings are now out to chase. Bisu is renowned for keeping his scouting probes alive for a good long time to see the goings on in the base, and I think Bisu has planted Nexus and then Cannon, thinking that he'd be able to keep those Zerglings chasing around that probe for a while. But that probe goes down, so I'm a little bit surprised there, but not too put out. Bisu probably going to be adding a second cannon, and I don't think there's going to be enough time for those Zerglings to get over there and effect a run-by as YellOw opts to expand. Looks like another probe heading in for a further scout, but if there was, I've lost track of it. Meantime, Zerglings are combing the map. I don't know if that's in search of proxies or probes or what, but Those Zerglings are on the move, and it looks like they're going to get set to converge on Bisu's natural exit. Okay, it wasn't a second scouting probe going for YellOw's base. That probe that I thought I saw scouting was actually just getting transferred between Bisu's main and expansion. And those Zerglings in front, which I missed whether they had speed or not, but they're going to be able to deny further scouting. And depending on the build that YellOw goes for, this may be really important. It's important in general. There's a lot of benefit to keeping your Protoss opponent in the dark to what you're doing, but certain builds, if they're scouted, they will just collapse really quickly. And we have a lair morphing and a Hydralisk den, no third hatchery, so it's going to be 2 hatch Hydras, which is one of those builds that I suppose you can call it a bit of a glass cannon. It's powerful, but if it's scouted out and reacted to, the Protoss player will typically be able to defend by putting a bunch of cannons at the natural entrance. And if this probe gets in, it could be disastrous for YellOw. There's nothing on hand to stop it, so it's going to see all of this, and it's going to see this 2-hatch Hydra break coming. Although, one critical question is why the lair if it's going to be straight out 2-hatch Hydras. So I think based on the timing that we saw there with the Hydralisk Den and lair simultaneously finishing, Lurkers is going to be upgraded, and 2-hatch Lurkers is not something I'm at all used to seeing against Protoss.